Right, well, we are currently wandering around at Land's End, trying to stave off the symptoms of riding a Norton since 4 o'clock this morning. Sort of, I don't know, 350, 400 miles from mine. Closest thing to proof you're going to see around here as to where I am is a signpost. Not going around the other bit. It's all a bit windy, so not sure how good this sound will be. But yeah, it is rather busy. Anyway, I'm going to keep wandering around until I can feel things like my feet and my backside and things again, and then we shall wander back towards the bike, because there's a couple of little bits that need sorting, as you can imagine after such a long run. Anyway, right. Oh, the wind's died down. Superb. Yeah, I'm going to wander around this tourist a bit for a moment. And then, yeah, I said, I think we're not doing too well on the charging side of things with the bike. I think one of my cheap nasty rectifiers is about to give up, if it hasn't already. It's, yeah, somewhat intermittent, the charging rate is. I've got a spare one or two kicking around in the bottom of a bag, so yeah, it'd be about an hour's work to take it apart and change them. Anyway, right, onward. Telescope for blind people. Oh, we're still at Land's End. Norton's now in bits. I said she wasn't making enough electric. I don't know if you can see there. It snapped a wire off. That'd be why. I was presuming one of my cheap nasty Reg Rex had burnt out, and that I was going to have to come up with some form of bodgery to make it work. But no, it has simply snapped a wire. Oh, we can do something about that, can't we? I'm sure somewhere I've got some connectors, if I remember to put them under the seat. You never know. Anyway, although I think the bike is starting to eat its own paint. And it's blooming filthy. You won't believe I cleaned it before I set off, but still, not to worry. Right, I'll do something about that. That's why we leave nice big loops on wires, so when bad things happen we can trim them down. Although if the loops weren't quite as big, they wouldn't wobble around as much, and there'd be less chance of them snapping. So, you know, 6.5 a dozen really. Right, I shall see if I can find something to fix that with. Right. Okay. So anyway, this is Land's End. Yeah, that's that nonsense sorted. It's all back together again, and hopefully will work. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to have a wander around, and then I'm going to get out of here. So, well, since I'm as far south and west as you can go, I'd best start heading north and east shortly. Yes, might take a little detour or two, you never know. Right, we'll see you in a little bit. Right, I don't know how well you can hear me over the wind and the surf, but we've made a stop because somewhere around here is a little monument to HMS Warspite, because this is sort of their final resting place, and that's St Michael's Mount. So somewhere along here is the plaque to Warspite. So yeah, I'm going to have a wander around, see if I can find it. Oh yeah, Norton's back together. Charging works again, which is lovely. Yeah, right, I'm going to see if I can find this plaque. Found it. That's how we done. I shall give some news to the lifeboat people, and then and see about heading north. It's about 4 o'clock now. I set off at 4 this morning. That's 12 hours down. See how far we get today. Right. Once again, onward. Strange. Left the camera running as well. Turns out you can't give money to the lifeboat people. They don't have a licence to take your money off you. I think they deserve some money, looking at the state of that. Okay, so now I'm somewhere where it's slightly less windy and not quite as busy. I thought I'd explain what's going on. Poor Van Norton sat there all covered in muck and filth in her own oil. Yeah, I set off rather early this morning from my house in Lincolnshire and went down to Land's End, which, you know, we've done that bit, and yeah, she had a slight electrical issue on the way, you know, nothing major. Although at one point on the way there, it was sort of not about where I am now actually. On the way down, she did miss a beat, and then shortly afterwards stop altogether, just long enough for my heart to sink and think, oh no, what the hell is wrong with this thing? And then it chimed back in and carried on running quite normally. I'm presuming we had a bit of water in the fuel or something. But anyway, yes, we've been down to Land's End, and now hopefully we're heading up to John O'Groats. We'll see how she goes. It's okay at the minute. Under heavy load in top gear, she is missing a little bit, but that might be something to do with all the muck and oil and whatnot all over the spark plug cap. So we'll give that a wipe before we carry on. It's all a bit last minute. Yes, so I don't actually have a camera mount on the bike because I don't know where I've put it. Like I said, last minute. Speedo has packed up all together now, and the drive's given up. So yesterday I took to push bike Speedo on there. Absolutely grand at lower speeds, but once you top 57 mile an hour, it all gets a bit confused, it does. And that is just simply off a little sensor cable tied on the fork and a super glued a magnet onto the plug. Hopefully it cleans up okay when I take it off. But yeah, like I said, that I was hoping it'd, you know, be good to like 60, 65, because that's all I'd need. But yeah, 57 is its lot. And unfortunately, when you're running on motorways and whatnot, you tend to be, even slipstreaming lobbies and whatnot, you tend to be running at about the point where it packs up. So I've not got an accurate record of the mileage, but you know, it's good for the cameras and bits in the slower parts. My tank seems to have moved, or the tank's, the big gap at the front of the tank strap now, that wasn't there before. I don't know, still sort of see, yeah, everything's on and tight. Anyway, I digress. So we are sort of doing this because quite a while ago now, my dear little brother set me a challenge of being able to get from my house to Land's End, then to John O'Groats and back to mine in less than 3 days. So yeah, less than 72 hours on El Norton. Don't know where the RSE van's just pulled up from. It's not for me, don't worry. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And should I succeed in said challenge, he'll buy me a new tent, because, well, we've all seen how crap mine is. I have got one with me, it's a different one, it's just an old one out of the loft, but hopefully better than the usual one. So yes, there we go, we're attempting to do 1800 miles in 3 days on a 350 Norton. That, if you know, watch any of the videos, is traditionally not really that reliable. But yeah, she's doing okay. Like I said, all a bit last minute. Even had to borrow a primary chain, because I think I mentioned before mine was getting ropey. And yes, when this came about, it was all very last minute, couldn't get one in time, so had to shoot off to a friend of mine who I know has a couple kicking about, new ones, and borrow one for a week, which made him laugh, asking to borrow a primary chain. But you know, I'll give him my new one when it does turn up. So yeah, I think that's about all the waffliness for now. So essentially today I am just going to ride until I've had enough of riding, and then find somewhere to stop. It might be a travel lodge, it might just be in the tent at the side of the road. There's a good chance it's going to be the tent at the side of the road. But yes. So until I get parked up, or something goes drastically wrong, that's the Norton, and you'll probably see it tonight or maybe tomorrow, or I said I'm just going to ride till I've had enough. If I've had enough in an hour, I've had enough in an hour. If I'm good for another 10 hours, yeah. We're just going to play it by ear, see how far we get. Right, I think a quick drink, maybe a top up on nicotine, and then onwards. Okay, so several hundred miles have passed since last we spoke, and it's getting blooming late, and it's starting to get a bit on the chilly side. We've had some proper weather. Yeah, sort of conflicted with lorries at the minute, because the slipstream's handy, but the spray certainly isn't. Yeah, it's calmed down a lot now. I'm sure I'll ride straight back into it. But we're currently in Cumbria. The Norton. I've had to buy some more oil for her, I didn't bring enough. She's using more than she normally does. Presumably, just because it's lots of high speed running. Just mile after mile of higher speeds, which, you know, maybe isn't the best for her, but still. Trying to keep it sensible. Sort of mid to high 50s, mainly mid 50s. Don't want to punish it too much. Still got a long way to go. And since last we spoke, I did clean that mucky plug cap, and she has run impeccably since then. Absolutely impeccably. Yes. But yeah, really, this stop is about, well, a little bit earlier than scheduled, because my hands are getting blooming cold because the gloves I have on are sodden. So it's time to rummage through the bag and find a fresh pair. I was hoping to save them till later, but no, it's getting cold and I still want to get cracked on. Not trying to do too much. I did make a vague attempt to finding somewhere to stay, but it wasn't working, so I thought, sod it, we'll just carry on. So what we're doing is we're riding for about, I don't know, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, trying to get at least 50 miles in, because by my sleep deprived maths, if I stop every 50 miles for 20 minutes, I'll still be able to get from Land's End to John O'Groats in less than 24 hours and have a little bit of time to play with. But that could just be because I've been up too long and, yeah, can't quite do maths properly. Yeah, right. So anyway, my 20 minutes isn't far from up. So I'm going to find those fresh gloves in that bag. Obviously the soggy ones aren't going in the dry bag. I'll move something out of a pannier and yeah, put them in there. So yes, you never know, might be daylight next time we speak. Oh dear, I hope so. I hope everything just keeps going swimmingly. Good old Norton, she's doing well. Right, onward. Okay, well, we made it. 25 minutes to spare, I think. I can't remember when we set off now. 3? Yeah, it was 3 when we went there. So yeah, did the 24-hour thing. Now we've got to make sure we get back to, yeah, back to Lincolnshire by, we've got to get there. tell you what, I'll talk about it when it's not so windy. Okay, it's marginally less windy for a moment, until I say it's marginally less windy. But anyway, we have managed to get from Land's End to John O'Groats in less than 24 hours, just by about half an hour. So, you know, my sleep deprived maths and yeah, scheduled rest stops and bits seem to do the job. As usual, it's simultaneously absolutely lovely and terrible here at the same time. It's blowing a gale when it feels like it's raining at the same time as having some blue skies and some sun about. But anyway, there we go. I think we've seen that before, haven't we? So, as I have been away for donkey's ages, I've done a bit over 1,200 miles in the last 2 days. I'm going to go find somewhere to pitch a tent. I'm going to have something proper to eat and get a good night's kip. And then we'll make sure we, well, all being well, we'll make sure we get back down to Lincolnshire before our 72 hours or 3 days is up. But so far I've done just short of 3/4 of the mileage and only used half the time. So yeah, at the minute we're well positioned for getting the tent. But you know, we'll see what the fates have in store for us. Anyway, I've just seen food. I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so it has just gone 5 in the morning. I want to be on the road for 6, so we've got a brew on. Most of those things okay, apart from being filthy and chucking oil everywhere. Yeah, checked her over last night, adjusted the chain and bits. Still loads of oil in the gearbox. Surprisingly, still loads in the primary. It's just engine oil we seem to be ploughing through at the minute. But anyway, we're at the Riverside campsite in Wick. Rather nice place. A little bit too posh for someone on a scabby old Norton with a knackered old tent. Cracking facilities there. Yeah, nice guys, come I'll recommend it. But yeah, we've got just over 500 miles left to do today, and then we'll be home. So yeah, we managed to do Land's End to John O'Groats in less than 24 hours. And providing the next 500 and whatever it is, I don't know, 20, 30 miles, all goes okay, we'll have got from Lincolnshire to Land's End to John O'Groats and back to Lincolnshire in less than 3 days. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to have this cup of tea, I'm going to put that lot away, and we'll get rolling. There we go, all luggage up and ready to go, and as it's coming up 6, we best get moving. Right, I'll put the camera in the bag, and I'll have a bit of wood as well. I can't forget me a bit of wood. Right, let's get rolling, get some more miles done. Wood. Well, so far, due to the nature of the landscape and the wind that no matter which way I'm facing seems to be head on, I've managed to average 30 miles an hour, which is painful. You know, I've been riding for 2¼ hours. I'm not even back down to Inverness yet. I should be along the other side of it. But I thought we'd pull over and just assess some oil leaks. Yeah, it's definitely leaking. Predominantly because I'm in a low gear all the time, screaming the hell out of the poor thing. And there have been 2 hills where I've been in down to first gear and wondering what I can jettison off the back just to keep me rolling. But yeah, those pushrod tubes have long since given up sealing. And I'm just wondering how much longer I can pretend the tank strap hasn't snapped, because that actually snapped 2 days ago as I went past Bristol, but it all sort of stayed in position and I just pretended it was okay. But we've been over a couple of big bumps this morning and the tank's actually moved, so we'll see how we go. We might have to do something. But right, I'm going to have a bit of a leg stretch and see if I can find some breakfast. Right. Oh, the place over the road called Taste Buds. We'll try that. Onward. Okay, well, rather conveniently, while I was eating my breakfast, a chap in a contracting van pulled up and lent me a drill. So I've taken off the broken bits of tank strap, put a hole through what's left, and cable tie the tank back on. So, yeah. Although it's been flapping around loose for 700 miles and I've just sort of ignored it, for the rest of the journey, it's safely secured with cable ties. Right, just need to trim the bits off and we're good to go. Onward. Okay, so we are struggling like hell today in this wind. What time is it? It's only just gone noon and I'm already about an hour behind. And we're spending a lot of time in third gear. Yeah. It's yeah, big hills and big wind. Took me till 11:15 to get a decent slipstream off someone, and that kept me going for a little while. I got about 40 minutes out of that slipstream. Oh, someone coming. Hello. So anyway, time to pull over for a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits, and I noticed we've got a little bit of a rattle going on. So just put the cover off of the timing chain, because that's where the rattle sounds should be coming from when you're riding along, and it's absolutely fine, or as fine as it needs to be anyway. Tension's reasonable on it. Not that I could do much about it because it's 1/4 inch Allen keys and I'm pretty sure I haven't put one in. Yeah, and it's plenty wet enough. It's all nice and oily as it should be. Not as oily as the pushrod tube is currently, but nice and oily regardless. So yeah, quite what the noise is, who knows? Yeah, still running though, isn't it? Yes, like I said, she's struggling, the old girl. It is blooming windy out there. It's actually quite nice where we are now. That's why I picked this spot. It's just somewhere sheltered to have a cup of tea. But yeah, she's struggling. Anyway, I'll put this back on, drink my tea, eat my biscuits, and onward. So I just checked the push rods while I'm here. It's only a couple of bolts to get in there, and just because that was absolutely fine, and it turns out they're absolutely fine. So you know, something in this area, possibly behind that cover, is making a noise. Either that, or I've been sat on the bike riding for that long, I'm just paranoid and I'm hearing things that aren't there, which is possible. Right, I best put that back on and finish my cup of tea, haven't I? Okie dokie. Oh, look at that, it's starting to rain. Got some on the camera. Onward. Okay, last scheduled stop. We are about an hour from home ish, so hopefully the next thing you'll see is this thing pulling into the workshop, if all goes well. So yeah, by the time we get back we'll have done just short of 1800 miles, and we'll have done it in less than 3 days, providing the next hour goes well. But you know, you'll find out soon enough. So anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much, and if I'm about to pull in the workshop, we'll call that quits and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!